everyone. In this presentation, I will be explaining the concept of adder enhancement techniques part 3. So in my part 2 description, I had explained you regarding the adder enhancement technique basically in terms of carry skip adder. So in this particular presentation, I will be discussing on the last concept of adder enhancement technique, that is nothing but a carry look ahead adder cell. If you just have a look into the following expression which I have written over here, it is mainly considered from the concept of full adder cell, which I had explained you. On the basis of the truth table what we have drawn, we have seen that the expression for the carry output can be written something like this. That is, Ck value is nothing but considered as the carry output. So A and B will be the main input what you are going to apply for a full adder cell. Along with that, we are going to apply Ck minus 1, which is considered to be the carry input. So we have discussed what is this Hk also. Hk is nothing but it will be considered just like a half adder sum output, which is expressed in terms of Ak Bk complement plus Ak complement Bk. So this much we have already seen in the concept of full adder design. So from this concept itself, we can just design a carry look ahead adder cell wherein I have just replaced this particular value of Hk, that is Ak Bk complement plus Ak complement Bk, which is nothing but a XOR gate. So that particular Hk, which is nothing but an XOR gate, can also be equated in terms of an OR gate. So this is one of the derivation which you will be having in the higher semester, but for the time being you need not concentrate much upon it, but just remember the equation like XOR gate can be replaced by a OR gate. So here Hk value, that is XOR value, I have replaced it in terms of Ak plus Bk. So from this particular expression, I can just take into the consideration of Ak Bk, that is the dot product, which is nothing but called as a generate value, and Pk is nothing but called as a propagate value, which is written in terms of an OR gate, that is plus sign. So if I replace Ak Bk as Gk, that is generate signal, and if I replace Ak plus Bk, that is OR gate, with the propagate signal of Pk, I can just manipulate this equation and rewrite it as Ck value is nothing but equal to Gk plus Ak plus Bk is Pk, right? So that particular Ak plus Bk value is written as equal to Pk multiplied by Ck minus 1. So this will be the main carry output expression which we will be utilizing in order to design any kind of or any number of bit asked for a carry look ahead adder cell. So depending upon the number of bits what they ask you in exam, you have to choose the value of k. So in this particular expression, in this particular design, I have considered the value of k as equal to 0, 1, 2 and 3. So that is for a 4-bit value. So if you consider the k value as equal to 0 in this Ck expression, just replace the value of k with 0. So if I replace k with 0, C0 can be written as equal to G0 plus P0. C 0 minus 1. 0 minus 1 is nothing but will give you the value of minus 1, which is the previous carry, which I have replaced it in terms of Cin. If you want, I can just write it and explain. So if I just consider the value of k input as equal to 0, in this expression it will be nothing but C0 is equal to G0 plus P0 into C 0 minus 1, which will give us a value as minus 1. This particular C minus 1 value, I have written it as equal to Cin in this particular expression. So from that we can derive the expression for different values of C, that is carry input equal to 0, carry input equal to 1, 2 and 3. So when I replace the k value as equal to 1, so if I just write k value as equal to 1 over here, I can write the expression as C1 is equal to G1, so G1 I have written here, plus P1 into C 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1 is nothing but 0. So it is G1 plus P1 into C0. So from the above expression, we have the value of C0 as equal to G0 plus P0 multiplied with Cin. So the same thing I have used over here, G1 plus P1 into G0 plus P0 into Cin. G0 plus P0 into Cin. So the equation will be written something like this. So if you have this particular expression, if I further expand this equation, I will be obtaining the value of C1 as equal to G1 plus P1 G0 plus P1 P0 Cin. That is nothing but the carry output expression for C1. Next, I have to consider the value of the K input as equal to 2. So if I substitute 2 in this particular expression, I will be obtaining the value as C2. C2 is equal to G2 plus P2 into C2 minus 1, 2 minus 1 is 1. So which is nothing but C1. So G2 plus P2 into C1. So from this particular above expression, we have the value of C1 as G1 plus P1 G0 plus P1 P0 Cin. So just substitute the value of C1 as G1 plus P1 G0 plus P1 P0 into Cin and further expand the equation. It will be giving us the equation as G2 plus P2 G1 plus P2 P1 G0 plus P2 P1 P0 Cin. So that is the equation for the carry output C2. Last, I have considered the value of K input as equal to 3, wherein I will be substituting K as 3 in this particular main equation. So C3 will be equal to G3 plus P3 into C3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2, so it is C2. C3 is equal to G3 plus P3 into C2. Replace the equation for C2 from this equation, that is G2 plus P2 G1 plus P2 P1 G0 plus P2 P1 P0 Cin. So that will give us the equation for C3. Further expand the equation. So considering the values inside the brackets, if I expand the equation, I will be obtaining the value of the carry output C3 as equal to G3 plus P3 G2 plus P3 P2 G1 plus P3 P2 P1 G0 plus P3 P2 P1 P0 Cin. So these are the equations which we will be obtaining for the distinct carry output starting from C0, C1, C2 till C3 in terms of generate signal as well as propagate signal. Here I have replaced the values of A and B in terms of the generate signal G as well as the propagate signal P. So here this is the design which I have considered, wherein, so I have told you the design till this particular part, that is 4-bit value considering K value as 0, 1, 2 and 3. Further, I can design that particular adder cell for any number of bits. So mainly here I have considered a carry look ahead adder with the 16 number of bits, wherein I have considered each and every individual block is having the deposition of 4 distinct bits. So this is first block, second block, third block and fourth block. So if I just have the input in terms of A and B, so for first block, if I can have a replacement of 4 distinct bits, so it is from 0, 1, 2 till 3. So the main carry input what you are going to apply for that particular adder cell is Cin, and the main carry output generated of this entire block is nothing but C3. It is going to generate the sum outputs in terms of S0, S1, S2, S3. That is depending upon the number of bits what you are going to have in each and every individual block. So further considering the second block can have the value of I in terms of 4, 5, 6 and 7. So the main carry output is C7. Main sum outputs will be S4, S5, S6 and S7. Main carry input for this second block will be in terms of carry output which is generated from the first blocks, which is nothing but C3. This is the third block in the carry look ahead adder cell, where I have considered the continuation of this particular block, that is 8, 9, 10 and 11. So the main carry input for this is the previous carry output generated C7, and the main carry output will be the main output from this entire block, that is C11, and the main sum outputs will be S8, S9, S10 and S11. Further consideration of the 12, 13, 14 and 15th bit, I will be having the value of the main carry output in terms of C15 and the main sum output as S12, S13, S14 and S15, wherein I have applied the main carry input as C11, that is the output of carry generated from the block 3. So this completes the design for a 16-bit cell. So if you consider here the value of the operand A and operand B, I have considered it from bit 0 to bit 15, which in total will be giving the design of 16 bits. If you want, you can change the number of blocks over here. So this is one simple example which I have chosen, wherein I have considered the number of blocks is equal to 4. If you can consider the number of blocks as equal to 2, means each and every individual carry look ahead adder block can accommodate 8 number of bits. So there will be only 2 blocks like this. So the lines, that is the arrow marks which I have shown here, it will be 18 number. So comprising of the operand ai and bi, it will be from a value of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, which is going to comprise 8 distinct bits. The next bit adder, that is a carry look ahead adder block, can have the accommodation of the operand a as well as b, starting from, because in this first block I will be completing till 7, so next it will be continuation of 8. So here next block it can accommodate 8 distinct inputs in terms of the values 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. So that will be comprising of only 2 blocks. So depending upon your wish, you can choose the number of blocks, you can accommodate the number of bits according to the number of blocks what you are going to select. So from my first slide wherein I have explained you how to write the equation for each and every individual carry output. So once again I am going back to that concept itself, wherein I have designed by making use of a CMOS logic structure. As we have already designed different types of logical circuits as well as complex circuits in case of CMOS logic structures. You may just recall the concept. CMOS logic structures are nothing but the combination of P MOSFET as well as N MOSFET, wherein the pull up part will be reserved for the placement of PMOS transistors and the pull down part will be reserved for the placement of NMOS transistors. So this is the expression which I have taken from the second slide for each and every individual carry output. C0 is equal to G0 plus P0 Cin, similarly C1, C2 and C3, wherein I have substituted the different values for K. So if I want to design this particular expression in terms of CMOS logic structure, you might see this particular logic structure wherein I have written the output as C3 complement, wherein I require C0, C1, C2, C3 without the complement form. So I have already told you in the second module, if I want the values of the outputs in terms of a non-complemented format, I am having the output generated as C3 complement. If I just cascade that particular C3 complement output with one more CMOS inverter, the output generated from that particular CMOS inverter is nothing but C3. So in addition to these many number of transistors of P MOSFET as N MOSFET, to generate the main carry output C3, I have to again cascade it with one more CMOS inverter which is constituting of one PMOS and one NMOS transistor. So in total I have to include even 2 transistors addition to this many number of transistors. So let me just explain you how to draw this particular structure considering the expressions for C0, C1, C2 and C3. So here C0 value is nothing but G0 plus P0 Cin, which means that in case of NMOS design, that is pull down part, Cin as well as P0 must be connected in series. So here I have connected Cin and P0 in series. With this particular combination, I am supposed to connect G0 in parallel. So Cin and P0 are connected in series. With that particular combination, connect G0 in parallel. So this much is done. Exact the opposite kind of connection will be for your P MOSFET, which means P0 and Cin should be connected in parallel, and with that particular combination G0 must be connected in series. So I will just mark and show you over here. This much combination if I consider, it is going to generate me the output of C0, but in terms of C0 complement. It will be in terms of C0 complement. So this is the pull up PMOS, this is the pull down NMOS. Similarly, I am going to consider it for the second equation, that is C1 is equal to G1 plus P1 G0 plus P1 P0 Cin. Further, I can write this particular expression as, so I can just write this expression as equal to G1 I will be writing it as it is, plus P1 is common for both the terms, so I will consider P1 as common and multiply it with G0 plus P1 P0 Cin. P1 I have considered it outside the bracket, so I am remaining or left out only with P0 as well as Cin. So for this expression, I will try to draw the CMOS logic structure now. So if you just look into this particular structure once again, G1 plus P1 multiplied with G0 plus P0 Cin. So P0 Cin is in series, P0 Cin is in series. With that, G0 should be in parallel. So G0 is connected in parallel. With this entire combination, P1 should be connected in series. With this entire combination, P1 is having a series connection. With this entire combination, G1 should be connected in parallel. So with this entire combination, I have connected G1 in parallel. So that is the pull down connection in terms of NMOS transistor. Exact reverse of that will be the pull up connection, that is P0 and Cin should be connected in parallel, P0 Cin in parallel. Along with that, G0 should be connected in series, G0 is connected in series. With this entire combination, P1 should be connected in parallel. So with this entire combination, P1 is connected in parallel. With this particular combination, G1 should be connected in series. So with this entire combination, I have connected G1 transistor of P MOSFET in series. So if I consider this much part, if I consider this much on the whole, it is going to yield me the expression of C1 in terms of complement sign. C1 in terms of complement sign I will be getting over here. Next I will be considering the output of C2, which is G2 plus P2 G1 plus, so I will just expand the expression over here. So C2 can be further written as equal to G2, I will write it as it is, G2 plus, in these three terms we have P2 in common. So consider P2 outside the bracket and multiply it with G1 plus, here P2 I have considered outside the bracket, so it is P1 multiplied with G0, last term it is P1 multiplied with P0 multiplied with Cin. Close the brackets. So I will be obtaining the expression for C2 as equal to G2 plus P2 into G1 plus P1 G0 plus P1 P0 Cin. So now for this expression, if I draw the CMOS logic structure, P1 P0 Cin should be connected in series. P1 P0 Cin I have connected in series. With that combination, I want P1 G0 connected in parallel. So with that combination, I am having P1 G0 connected in parallel. Again, if I want, I can write this particular expression P1 G0 plus P1 P0 Cin as equal to P1 multiplied with G0. So further this can be written as P1 multiplied with G0 plus P0 into Cin. So I can further write the value of C2 as equal to G2 plus P2 into G1 plus P1 multiplied with G0 plus P0 Cin, close the bracket, twice. So now if you consider this particular expression, P0 Cin is in series, P0 Cin is in series. With that combination, G0 should be in parallel. With that combination, G0 is in parallel. With this entire combination, P1 should be connected in series. With this entire combination, we have P1 in series. With that particular combination, G1 should be in parallel. With that combination, we have G1 in parallel. With that, we have to connect P2 in series. With that, we have P2 connected in series. With this entire combination, G2 should be connected in parallel. So that is connected in parallel. The vice versa of your PMOS arrangement. So again, it will be the same thing. So G2 will be connected in series. You can just work out on your own. So this entire combination now, so from here, comprising of P2 transistor, G2. So all these transistors, if I consider, it will be giving me the expression or the output of C2 complement. So this is the logic how you are going to draw it in terms of pull up as P MOSFET as well as pull down as N MOSFET for C2 complement. So last we are going to have the expression for C3, that is G3 plus P3 G2 plus P3 P2 G1 plus P3 P2 P1 G0 plus P3 P2 P1 P0 multiplied with Cin. So if I apply the same concept and if I just take the common terms over here, so here the common term will be P3 multiplied with G2 plus P2 G1, again there the P2 term is common, so it will be in terms of this particular expression. So on the whole you will be having multiplied it with P3 and plus you will be having G2. So if you draw that, you will be getting the output in terms of C3 complement. So you can just analyze the circuit over here. We have designed it only for 4 bits. So for this, to generate C0, C1, C2, C3, again I need to cascade it with one more CMOS inverter. So imagine if I am going to continue with this sort of design for 1000 number of bits or 10,000 number of bits, how many transistors it would have been accommodating. So this will make us to have a conclusion that if I go on increasing the number of bits, the number of transistors, either it may be in terms of a P MOSFET or N MOSFET, along with one cascaded CMOS inverter, it is going to consume a large number of transistors. In turn, it will be practically, if I consider, the cost of the particular design will be high, along with the cost, the space accommodated will also be high. Since we are concentrating on VLSI, that is very large scale integrated circuits, we are supposed to shrink the number of components as much as possible. So this is not a feasible design if I consider it for a larger number of bits. So hope you understood this particular concept, how to design a carry output in terms of number of bits what you require. So this particular design is based upon the CMOS logic structure or CMOS logic design. Since you have seen what is the disadvantage of CMOS logic structure if I go on increasing the number of bits. So in order to reduce the number of transistor, so I can just apply this particular logic which we have considered in terms of transistor, that is one single PMOS transistor, one single NMOS transistor I am having. In addition to that, this will be the NMOS logic structure. This NMOS logic structure is nothing. This NMOS logic structure is nothing but whatever the pull down part we have, whatever the pull down part of the transistor we have in terms of NMOS transistors in my previous design. So that itself I have taken over here, and the output that will yield is C3 complement, C2 complement, C1 complement and C0 complement, and pull up one particular P MOSFET and pull down one particular N MOSFET which will be applied to the clock signal. So here it is called as a Manchester chain arrangement. So still in depth we will be discussing about this concept further. So you will be having the design something like this for each and every individual generation of C3, C2, C1, C0. I require one of this kind, that is P MOSFET. So I have used 4 such P MOSFET depending upon the number of bits. Here I have selected 4 bits, so 4 PMOS transistor in the pull up part, and this is the NMOS logic, and in addition to that you will be having one additional NMOS transistor present. So if you compare this particular logic with the previous one, it has reduced the number of transistor requirement. So the working of this particular logic is something like this. If I apply the clock signal as equal to logical 0 state, then only the pull up transistor will get turned on and pull down transistor is turned off. So whatever the NMOS logic structure you have, whether it is having logical 0 state or logical 1 state, it does not matter, because it is having a direct connection from VDD to the output. So the output value will remain at logical 1 state itself. If you are making, or if you are asserting the clock signal as equal to logical 1 state, the NMOS transistor will get turned on and PMOS transistor will get turned off. wherein it is going to depend upon your NMOS logic structure. If you have the NMOS logic structure behaving like a closed switch, then only the output will get discharged towards the ground terminal, or it will be equal to a logical 0 state. But if it is behaving like an open switch, then it will not produce you the output as equal to logical 0 state. However, if I compare it with the previous logic, this particular logical structure is having much more benefit in terms of the usage of number of transistors, in terms of space requirement, as well as in terms of cost requirement. So further I have considered the same expressions for C0, C1, C2 and C3, and these are the expressions which I have explained you before also. So if you consider the value of the input Cin in all these four expressions is equal to a logical 0 state. So Cin will appear only in the last term of each and every individual expression. So again I have considered only 4-bit over here. So in each and every individual expression, if I just substitute the value of Cin as equal to 0, so all these terms will be equal to 0, because anything multiplied with 0, that is dot of 0, will be equal to 0 itself. So further I can improve, or further I can enhance the carry look ahead adder cell, but by just substituting the value of Cin as equal to 0. Sometimes we may have the carry input signal as equal to 0, wherein all these terms will be equated as equal to 0. So for that purpose, the terms, the last term, we are going to designate it in terms of signal pi. So signal pi, so here it will be in terms of pi naught, here it will be in terms of pi 1, and in the second case it is pi 2, and in the last case it is pi 3. And all the summation of the previous terms except the last term, it will be in terms of a signal gamma. So here it is gamma naught. So here this entire term will be gamma 1, and this entire summation term will be gamma 2, and this entire term will be gamma 3. So I can write now C0 value as equal to gamma naught plus pi naught. Similarly, C1 value is equal to gamma 1 plus pi 1. C2 is equal to gamma 2 plus pi 2, and last it is C3, which is equal to gamma 3 plus pi 3. Now I am having all the pass signal as well as the generate signal in terms of the signals gamma as well as pi, whereas pi value will be equal to 0 when you are going to consider the value of the C input as equal to 0. So it will be taken into consideration only when C in value is not equal to 0. So further, if you consider the logic, further, if you consider the logic of a carry look ahead adder, here I have considered it in terms of a pass signal as well as generate signal. So this is a carry look ahead adder unit having or comprising of only 4 bits starting from 0, 1, 2 till 3. So it is having the inputs in terms of pass signal as well as generate signal P0, G0, P1, G1, P2, G2, P3, G3, and it is having the main input of carry as Cin, and it is going to generate it in terms of the main carry output. So C3 will be in terms of pi as well as gamma, and it will be having the further outputs, that is the carry outputs from the intermediate stages as C0, C1 and C2. So this is a carry look ahead adder cell considering the enhanced technique wherein I am going to include the concept of pi as well as gamma signal. So here C3 is written in terms of pi as well as gamma, because the main carry output which is generated from this particular unit is nothing but C3. So C3 is written in terms of pi as well as gamma. This is another example what I have taken in terms of 16-bit carry look ahead adder unit. So this is what I had explained in the previous slide, wherein I have considered one particular carry look ahead adder unit comprising of 4 distinct bits. So here 16-bit means I am having 4 distinct carry look ahead adder block. Each of the block is accommodating 4 bits. So it is starting from 0, 1, 2, 3 for the first block, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the second block, 8, 9, 10, 11 for the third block, and for the fourth block it is 12, 13, 14 and 15. So if I have a look into it, 0 from 15, it is comprising of 16 bit in total. So since I have told you the carry output can be categorized in terms of a pi signal as well as gamma signal, wherein pi is nothing but in terms of value, if I am going to consider the Cin value as equal to 0, and gamma is another value which is in terms of a summation of all other values that is prior to the last particular term. So here each and every individual module or each and every individual block is having the carry output generated. So the main carry output generated out of this first block is nothing but carry output C3, which is written in terms of pi and gamma as equal to pi naught and gamma naught. So the main carry output which is generated from the second block is in terms of C1 written as equal to pi 1 and gamma 1. So from this particular block the main carry output generated is C11, which is written in terms of pi 2 as well as gamma 2, and last it is the carry output generated in terms of C15, which is written in terms of pi 3 and gamma 3. So these are the intermediate carry outputs what you are going to have: C0, C1, C2 for the first block, C4, C5, C6 for the second block, 8, 9, 10 for the third, and 12, 13, 14 for the last block. So now if I consider this particular carry look ahead adder unit, so depending upon the number of bits and number of blocks what you are going to select, in addition to that one more carry look ahead adder block you have to select, wherein you are going to apply all the inputs as equal to pi and gamma signals. So here I am having 1, 2, 3 and 4 pi as well as gamma signals, which will be behaving like your propagate or pass signal as well as the generate signal for this carry look ahead adder unit. So the main carry output generated from this entire unit will be the carry output C15, and the intermediate carry outputs will be in terms of C3, in terms of C7 and C11. So this will be C3, C7 and C11. All those C3, C7, C11 connection you have to apply it to the corresponding C3, C7 and C11, which are going to behave like the carry inputs for each and every individual carry look ahead adder unit. Along with that, even the main carry input signal you are going to apply for this particular carry look ahead adder block. So whatever may be the number of bits asked, so depending upon the number of bits you can have your design, you can select your number of blocks, and whatever the blocks you are going to select, in addition to that one more block has to be reserved in order to apply all the main carry outputs generated from each and every individual blocks. So this is nothing but the design of a carry look ahead adder cell, that is 16-bit carry look ahead adder unit. So apart from this in exam you may be asked to design for the distinct type of bits, so you must be ready for design for any number of bit asked in exam. So hope you understood the concept of carry look ahead adder unit, wherein you are going to concentrate upon the normal carry look ahead adder operation. Along with that, what happens when you are using that particular expression in order to design by making use of a CMOS logic structure, wherein it is comprising of a PMOS transistor as well as NMOS transistor. So we have already seen it is going to accommodate large number of transistor. In other terms, the cost will be more, space requirement will be more. So in order to avoid that, we have seen we can make use of a Manchester unit, chain unit, wherein we have discussed how to reduce the size by making use of a PMOS in the pull up part, single PMOS and single NMOS in the pull down part, and cascading it with the NMOS logic structure. Apart from that, in order to reduce the consideration of your carry look ahead adder expression, we have seen the entire signal can be divided in terms of a pi signal as well as the gamma signal. If your carry input is applied as equal to 0, then all the pi signals will be equal to 0. There is no consideration of pi value in your entire equation. You need to consider only the gamma signals. Then how to design by making use of pi and gamma signals also we have discussed. Hope you understood this particular concept. Thank you for listening.